Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, 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 I can help you out. Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no one to ride to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, I can help you out, I can help you out.
Good morning, Alpha Nation, Alpha family. What's up and what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Money Thursday. How's it going? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the best trading chat room in the world because you guys make it the best. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. I hope you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll, and I hope you guys are taking this time to access that morning stock newsletter to start getting prepared for today's trading session. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the market has been on fire lately. Sometimes we get some great pre-market action, intraday action. Stocks have been absolutely on fire. If you're not inside a chat every single day, if you're not taking advantage of this market, you are missing out. So make sure you're coming in every single day to take advantage of the market to educate yourselves and take the right steps in the right direction every single day to become the best trader that you can possibly be. I'm here to help you guys out, each and every one of you. I want to see everybody inside of chat successful, locking in those consistent profits. So let's do it again today. Let's have some fun, team, and let's make it happen, because the market has been on fire. The market will be on fire once in the day. So go ahead and hit me with a big old good morning. Happy Money Thursday. It is August 4th, 2022, 9:01 in the markets. So let's make it happen. Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, right, those of you that have been inside a chat for a month, 6 months, a year, since day one, let's go ahead and welcome all of our newcomers. We have about 5 to 6 newcomers, and we have a few other ones trickling on in at this point in time as well. So let's take a moment to welcome every new member to the Alpha Day Trading community. Give them a warm welcome, help them out when they need help, answer those questions. Again, I'm here to help you guys. Everybody inside a chat is here to help you as well. If you ever have any questions, do not hesitate to let me know. If I'm not here, do not hesitate to type that message inside a chat. We have a lot of great leaders and mentors here inside a chat to help you guys out. Not only that, we have tons of amazing members that will step up, take the initiative to help you guys as well. Our main focus, we share the same focus, the same mindset, the same goals, is to help everybody in chat figure out the stock market, to make consistent profits every single day. You will not be left behind. We are here to help you. But again, ask those questions. We will help guide you and help guide you towards that success in the market. So welcome everybody to the Alpha Day Trading family, ADT Nation. I'm excited to work with you, and I cannot wait to see you profits in the stock market. So let's go ahead and dive into today's morning stock watch list. What do we got going on? Where is the best of the best of the best opportunity for today? Well, the one thing I want to point out is, like Catherine said this morning, it's slow pickings, right? There's not a lot going on in pre-market, which is a first. When's the last time we've seen a dead pre-market in the last couple of weeks, right? Like, when's the last time we've seen a slow pre-market in the last couple of weeks? It's a slow pre-market. It's dry from what we've been used to. So this is odd. I'm curious to see if the slowness trickles into the day. Right now, I think the best game plan, guys, is to talk about the stocks that have potential. Get these stocks on your watch list. Okay, mark up your levels, your lows, your highs, support, resistance. Let's go ahead and set up some alerts as well, because if we start to see those alerts hit, we know that stock has the next best potential as it's breaking out. Right now, there's only one setup that really stands out, and I'm going to start with this setup right now at this point in time. My number one back burner sleeper play of the day is MTC. Why are we going to watch MTC today, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's a beautiful mid-candle breakout. This stock went on a massive run-up here on Tuesday. Didn't do too much yesterday, but it's setting up for a beautiful mid-candle breakout at this point in time. This is the only clean setup that I see. This is that one stock that I think has massive potential today off this potential mid-candle breakout. So the only stock that I have a plan for at this point in time, because there's a setup, there's a reason, there's some opportunity, is going to be C. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down. Bottom support at this point in time on MTC is going to be off yesterday's low, right around 378. Once we start to break above yesterday's close, which is right around 510, that's where traders start to step in. That's where volume starts to move in, and that's where we could start to see that explosive action to the upside for that mid-candle breakout formation. So that first area that needs to be really on watch, where volume is most likely to move in, is going to be that 510 level. Then, if we can start breaking over yesterday's open, that's where the next wave of volume moves in for that next leg up. And again, these mid-candle breakouts can be explosive. MTC was explosive here on Tuesday. The stock went from below $2 and hit highs of $8. If this is a proper mid-candle breakout, we know how mid-candle breakouts play on out. They can be absolutely explosive. Explosive. PGY gave us like 3 mid-candle breakouts in a week, and it was absolutely insane. So I want you guys to really keep MTC on watch, because if this works, if this starts to break that 510, this thing could go absolutely bananas. Back up towards around, again, yesterday's open at 565. Next wave of volume moves in over 565, pushing the stock up towards that 200-day moving average. That's going to be a main target for us today. But if this stock is strong enough and we could squeeze and break through that 200 SMA, we have great potential all the way back up towards around 787. And if we ever break Tuesday's highs, guys, this thing can go to 10 bucks. Right now at this point in time, get prepared, build a plan, know exactly where you want to get in, where your stops are going to be, where you're taking profits, where your target levels are. Okay? Understand this stock, understand the formation, have a plan built right now. So the second you see what you need to see to get in, you know you can get in. Assess your size, right? Accept your plan. Make sure you are positioned and prepared correctly. Because if this thing starts taking on off, you may miss it. And we don't want to miss this amazing opportunity here on MTC. So get prepared. There is a lot of opportunity today with MTC. At this point in time, it is my #1 back burner sleeper play of the day because we have a nice daily chart formation here on MTC. Once again, the mid candle breakouts. All right. So let's talk about what we have going on. Stocks that I think have good potential for today. All right. What are some stocks that I think have good potential that could move? There's no reason to get involved with these right here in pre-market at all. They're not setting up. There's no entries at this point in time. So here's what I recommend. What did we notice yesterday a little bit? Right? Yesterday, it was pretty random around lunch. Stocks breaking out, stocks breaking out, stocks breaking out. And a lot of these stocks breaking out when they started to hit these breakout scanners, the high-day momentum scanners, and a lot of this volume really started to move on in when they were breaking pre-market highs. So here's my recommendation. Let's mark up highs and lows, support and resistance, and set alerts. Okay? If we start to see these alerts get triggered, we know exactly where to put our attention to. These tickers, we need to know on the top of our head. If we see them hitting the high-day momentum scanner, let's shift our focus to that. If we see them hitting the breakout scanner, let's shift our focus to those set stocks. But right now, I think the best game plan is to sit back at the start of the day and wait to see where the traders go, because there's not one stock that's really stealing the focus right now. MTC is the #1 stock I want to watch out of the gate because this thing could start to rip out of the gates for that mid-candle breakout. So here's what we're going to do. Mark up our levels of support and resistance and set our alerts. So we are all set, ready to rock and roll for today. So #1, QNRX. Bottom support at this point in time is back down at $14.50. Okay, let's mark up that pre-market high of $25. That's where we could start to see this thing really take on off. So if you guys are using TD Ameritrade, how do you set alerts? Go ahead and draw up your resistance line, right-click your resistance line, come all the way down here to where it says create alert, and you're going to have a pop-up box. So what we're going to want to do is make sure the price is set to mark is at or above that level of resistance. Go ahead and click create. Now we have an alert placed in the system. We don't need to be watching the stock out of the gate, but once that alert triggers, we know, hey, it's broken its pre-market high. There's potential. Let's shift our focus to the stock, because what we've been seeing this week is a lot of these flat stocks, they just start ripping. They just start ripping and they take on off and they don't slow down whatsoever. They just take on off. So mark up that high, that level that you think volume is going to start moving on in, where buyers are going to start stepping up to the plate and really start pushing the stock to the upside. Right now, pre-market high on QNRX, 25.25. We have an alert set right at that level as well. So we're all set, ready to rock and roll on QNRX. We have potential to $30 today. Okay, that's the 200-day moving average. If we see the stock breaking the 200 SMA, we could see QNRX all the way up to $40. Right now, bottom support, $14.50. ENVB, where's support? Right around $10. Go ahead and mark up that level of support. Where's pre-market resistance? Right here around $13. Go ahead and right-click that resistance line. Create alert. Mark is at or above that resistance level. Create. Where could we see the stock go? Well, if we can break that $13 pre-market high, that's where volume most likely is to really start stepping on in. We could see the stock back up to yesterday's high at $14.85 to $15 resistance. Breaking over 15 bucks, we have a lot of potential here to push all the way to $18.43, guys, right? No reason to get involved right now. There's no great high probability setup, but get prepared. Get prepared with your levels, set your alerts. If there's one or two stocks that stand out to you the most, right now, take that time to build a plan. If ENVB breaks $13, I will take 100 shares, okay? If I take 100 shares at $13, I put a stop loss at 12, right? What's my target? 15 bucks. What's my next target? 1843. Am I okay with that type of loss? Am I okay with losing potentially $100, $150 if I took this trade to make potentially $200 to 500 bucks? Go ahead and build that plan in your head. Write it down if you have to. Go ahead and assess your position size and accept that plan that you just built. So all you have to do is react. If the stock breaks $13, you don't have to scramble and try and build a plan. You already have a plan built. You know the position size. You know exactly where the stop's at, exactly where your entry is, exactly where you want to lock in some profits. You guys are all set, ready to rock and roll. But most importantly, accept the plan you built. So now if this stock triggers, if this stock hits and you want to get in, all you have to do is react. Click buy. You're all set, ready to rock and roll, and you know exactly where to get in, where to get out, and where to take profits. ENVB, right now at this point in time, definitely a stock that's on watch, but we need to start to see it break that pre-market high first. GRNA, it's a back burner, guys. Let's just watch it above $5. Okay, that's it. Right now at this point in time, we will be watching GRNA above 5. If we can bounce at $5, that looks great, right? If we can bounce off $5, maybe we start to see a little bit of volume start to move back in here to GRNA. Where do I want to put an alert on this stock? Well, I want to put an alert right underneath this prior support level of 638. 638 low, 638 low, 638 low, we cracked below it. So if we break back above that level, that's where buyers could definitely start to move back in. So let's go ahead and create an alert. Mark is at or above 638. Create. So if GRNA starts to break back above that level, we know, hey, let's possibly shift our focus over to this stock. Okay, but right now it's a back burner. In NVC, back burner as well. Pre-market high, 437. Creates, alerts. So if we break over the pre-market high, we know that this stock has some focus. This stock has some potential. Traders are starting to move on in. Where could we see in NVC go? Well, we have resistance at $5, and then we have resistance at 553. That key level is 553, because if we can break over 553, this stock has potential to 789 at this point in time. All right, guys, so mark up that pre-market high. Set your alert on this stock. Stocks have been just ripping lately. All right, there hasn't been the best pre-market setups into intraday and these really crystal clear high probability setups. Stocks are literally just breaking resistance levels and squeezing. Breaking resistance levels and squeezing. Barely any pullback, momentum play, next leg on up. So go ahead and mark up that pre-market high, 437. Create your alert. Get prepared if you like NNVC. Now, NNVC has news this morning, right? So there are at least some credibility here with NNVC. So NNVC reports that it has begun development to combat the monkeypox virus. So at least we have some credibility here with NNVC. There's a catalyst. It's a nice low float stock. It has a reason to be gapping up. Everything else, it's random, but random stocks are moving. They are turning into supernovas. This is the market we're in. It's okay. NNVC, we got a press release. Low float stock, currently up from $246, trading at $3.70. Pre-market high, 437. Mark it up, set your alert. We have room to 550, and then 789. Bottom support right now at this point in time is all the way back down at $2.84, right around the 200 SMA. It is a back burner though at this point in time. XCUR, bottom support, $2.60. Put a little bit of a downtrend on the stock, all right? A little bit of a downtrend here on XCUR. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a resistance level, I would say right around 357, right? Because we have some resistance, a lot of support, resistance. It's close to the trend line. Right click, create alert, boom. If XCUR ever starts to break 357, we know it could start to rip on up. Where to? Back up to pre-market resistance and post-market resistance of 449. All right, so 449. Where could we see it go if it breaks 449? Well, we could see the stock rip up towards around 490 to $5. And then we could see the stock start to take on off towards around $6.84. If this is the number one stock of the day, if this stock really starts to get some action and take on off, we do have potential to $8 and then $8.85. That's the 200-day moving average with XCUR. But again, there's not one stock that looks fantastic out of the gate. There's not one stock that really captivates me, that really pulls me in and convicts me that, hey, this is a stock that I would be getting in on right at the start of the day. The only stock that I see that I really want to be paying attention to at this point in time, right at 9:30, is going to be the mid-candle breakout on MTC. And then last but not least, we have NVIV. Recent reverse stock split. Starting to get some action here in pre-market, spiking on up to 11.25. Trade alert. 11.25. Create. We're all set, ready to rock and roll. Where is bottom support right now here on NVIV? I'm going to put your support level back down around 559. I think 559 is a decent little level of support here with NVIV. But again, not doing anything. There's no high probability setup right now to get involved. Just go ahead and get prepared. Mark up your levels, support, resistance, targets, create your alerts, and get positioned for the trading session. So just to recap, QNRX is on watch. ENVB is on watch. MTC, back burner sleeper for the possible mid-candle breakout. GRNA on watch. NNVC on watch. And this stock has a press release as well. So let's make that one of our top stocks for the day. XCUR, recent reverse stock split. We know how reverse stock splits can turn into supernovas when the market is on fire. Market's on fire. We have a couple newer, right, reverse stock splits that just, split here recently. We're starting to get some action here in pre-market. Let's keep these on watch. Maybe that trend shifts on over from newer IPO stocks that are supernovas to reverse stock splits that turn into supernovas. It's been about 2 years since I've seen a reverse stock split turn into a supernova. But this is also the first time in a long time I've seen a stock with no credibility, with no news, gapping up in pre-markets. And the only reason I can see is because it is a recent reverse stock split. So it's worth watching some of these stocks. Some of these more recent reverse stock splits have turned into supernovas in the past. Maybe XCUR turns into that supernova stock. Not saying it's going to, but maybe it does. Maybe NVIV turns into the next supernova stock. It is also a reverse stock split back in May. Once again, just to clarify, it's been 2 years since I've seen a reverse stock split turn into a supernova. But it's also been a very long time since I've seen a reverse stock split moving in pre-markets with no news or no credibility. So it's definitely worth watching. Maybe we start to see the shift from newer IPOs turning into supernovas to reverse stock splits. If we see NVIV do fantastic today, if we see XCUR do fantastic today, what do we need to do? We need to go back and look at the most recent reverse stock splits for small cap, low float penny stocks, because that could be the next sleeper play that gets some big time action. We're going to get prepared, make sure we're on top of it. So let's keep these on watch and see what happens today. All right. That is our penny stock watch list right now. Taking a step back at the start of the day, 9:30, watching scanners. Where are traders going? What's that one stock that's stealing the focus, that's stealing the attention, that's gaining that volume? What's the best opportunity? Let's find out at the start of the day, guys. What do we have on watch for options? And today starts smaller account options, right? I'm going to start trading options with you guys. I've said it for months. I'm going to go ahead and make the decision to start trading options with you guys on a small amount of money. It's been 2 years since I've really taken some serious option trades. But a lot of you guys are asking, Josh, when are you going to trade more options? When are you going to actually start looking at more stocks for options and actually trade them as well? That starts today here on TD Ameritrade, guys. So what am I looking at today in the options world? Well, number one, Tesla. Okay, the one thing that stands out to me about Tesla is yesterday we gapped up above the 200-day moving average. Yesterday could have been the day that we fell back down below. It could have been a great short off the rejection. We held above it. Tesla has a lot of attention right now. Tesla has a lot of focus from traders. And I believe that traders are really looking to push Tesla up to $1,000 next. That could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. But the one thing that stands out to me is yesterday we gap up above the 200 SMA and we hold above the 200 SMA. So as long as we stay above the 200 SMA back down around $9.10, we could see buyers step on in for a break over 935.92. And if that happens, I do believe Tesla has a lot of potential to get its next leg up to $1,000. So let's keep Tesla on watch. A little bit of a back burner at this point in time. We first want to see the stock breaking 935.92, and that's when I think Tesla could start taking on off, guys. So Tesla is on watch. Apple is going to be on watch today as well. Now, this is tough, right? When I look at Tesla, Tesla's the same way. All right, Tesla, it's tough to be pulling the trigger, right? Apple, it's tough to be pulling the trigger. Amazon, it's tough to be pulling the trigger. Why is that? All three of these stocks are overextended. Apple, overextended, starting to reach overbought conditions on the RSI. Amazon, just a bit overextended. So it's really tough to be buying stocks long when they're overextended. But that's the market we're in. Stocks are still ripping on up. So we need to trade with what the market's giving us, which we see some good long opportunities. So here's the deal with Apple. All right, here's the deal with Apple. And one thing I'm going to point out as well that Stir posted up, and this is very credible, so good job, Stir. He says, be careful with Apple. They have a dividend payout tomorrow, 8.5. Usually has a red open and an all-day recovery. So that's very good insight, very good analysis that Apple has a dividend payout tomorrow. And looking back, typically we have a red day on those days. So with Apple, that's something to be mindful for tomorrow. But for today, there is potential. And what I see is this stock is set up for a continuation. We break above the 200 SMA here on Friday, right? Monday and Tuesday, we pull back for a 200 SMA retest. We get that confirmation yesterday with a big time rip to the upside with an increase in volume, and it closed at the top of that daily range. That shows strength for a continuation. So what we're looking for on Apple is a break over these pre-market highs and this pre-market resistance level. A simple break of 166.65 could send Apple to 171.15. Strong day yesterday. Just broke and retested its 200 SMA. Very strong volume day. It's very hard to be jumping into these stocks when they seem to be overextended, but we can see Apple make a nice little move on up, assuming the overall market is having a good day as well. If the SPY's dumping, if the Qs are dumping and selling off, and we have a pullback day, we're not trading Apple long. But if the SPY's going to rocket like it did the last few days, if the Qs are going to rip on up as well, Apple has great potential. A break over 166.65 is where we would want to look for those entries up to around our next target, 171. Amazon looking decent as well, right? Nice little bounce yesterday, nice little move on up, a slight increase in volume. Again, the stock gapped up to 135. It's been trading up towards around 140 over the last 4 trading sessions. If we see Amazon breaking these pre-market highs today, guys, that's where volume is going to move in. That's where buyers are going to start stepping up to the plate. Where can we honestly see Amazon go? Well, I believe we can see Amazon to the 200-day moving average. Okay, so right now, if Amazon breaks 140.77 and it stays above 140.77, we could absolutely look to play this long to the 200-day moving average, which is also a spiking high, which is also a significant low of day. It definitely stands out. It's definitely a level that I want to be paying attention to. So with that being said, Amazon breaking over those pre-market highs, the overall market showing strength, having another good bullish day, we could see Amazon at 146.20. I'm definitely watch this for an options play for today, right? So we talked about Tesla, it's on watch. We talked about Apple, it's definitely on watch. We talked about Amazon and broke this down. It's 110% on watch. These 3 stocks have great potential for another leg on up and another good green day, assuming the overall market has a good green day as well. Now let's talk about the overall market. What do we have going on? Nice movement to the upside over the past week and a half. That's all I can say. Great movement to the upside over the last week and a half, right? Is there any killer opportunities right out of the gate? Is there anything that I see that really gives me an edge right out of the gate? I'm like, guys, if we come down to this level and we hold this level, this is where I'm going all in. It can definitely rip from here. Get prepared out of the gate, the SPY and the Qs. I don't see anything right now at this point in time. So let's just look at our levels of support and resistance and wait to see if a high probability setup takes place at or near one of these levels of support or resistance. Where is current resistance at this point in time? Well, I'm going to say yesterday's high a day. So yesterday's high a day on the Qs was right at 323.65. 323.65, right? If we can break and hold above that level today, we have room back up to 324.90. And then our next main level of resistance here for the Qs is 329.33. Now, let's say we can't get above yesterday's high a day. Let's say we start cracking below yesterday's close as well. That's a sign of weakness, okay? Where could we see the Qs pull back to? Well, I would say 321.77, resistance from yesterday, support and post-market. If we ever see a crack below 321.77, I do believe we can see the Qs back down at 320.35. Those are your levels of support and resistance. Some of the best levels of support and resistance. Now, what will we have to do? We have to sit back and wait for a high probability opportunity to present itself at or near one of these levels of support or resistance. It's a simple game of patience. You have to come in and do your due diligence. You have to come in and get prepared. The hardest part about trading is patience. Waiting for the stock to say, buy me here. And here's why. Because it's a high probability setup. Waiting for the stock to say, short me here, I'm a high probability setup to the short side. Then you have to step up and build a plan and position yourself correctly. Then all you have to do is react. The hardest part of trading is the patience. Really calming yourself down and waiting for the best of the best opportunity to come to you. So what can we do in the meantime? Do our due diligence and get prepared. We are now prepared on the Qs. We know exactly what we could see take place today. Now we just wait. The SPY. Let's talk about the SPY real quick. Where do I think we could see the SPY go? If the SPY has a good green day, if the SPY is going to break that 416.10 pre-market resistance, where do I think the SPY could go to next? Well, I believe we have room to 421.28, right underneath that lower shadow from that massive gap down day. Remember that day back in January? We gapped down and dumped all the way to 421.28 and had one of the biggest single day moves in years, decades. Absolutely insane. That is an extreme point. That is that low of day from that massive gap down and that huge rebound. That's going to be a key level here on the SPY right at 421.28. So breaking that 416.10, that's our main level of resistance. That's where we want to be looking to get all out, okay? Right now, support is back down at 412.85. If we crack 412.85, our next level of support is going to be this multi-week trend line. All right, so if we come on down today and crack 412.85, you have support right at that multi-week trend line that we could hold above, bounce off of, back up to the 416. That's your long idea. Now, what if the trend line cracks? Oh, we're going short. If that trend line cracks, we're shorting the SPY. Absolutely. Where would we look to short the SPY down to? 407.76 here on the SPY. The Qs, the trend line's pretty far away. But if the Qs ever crack that trend line today, tomorrow, next week, same thing. We would look to short the Qs as well. The Qs are pretty far away from the trend line. I doubt the Qs crack it today or even come near it. But SPY is kind of closer to that trend line. It's definitely a level to keep on watch, guys. You're all set, ready to rock and roll, right, team? Let's make it happen. Let's have an awesome day in the markets. Let's crush it once again, and let's make it happen. Out of the gates, watch your breakout scanner. Watch the high day momentum scanner. Watch the halt and resume scanner. Let's see where the best opportunity and let's see where the best potential is. Again, right now, sit back and wait for your setup. Sit back and wait for your opportunity. just a game of patience. Watching these scanners, looking to see where the best potential is. And we have our alerts set as well. All right, team. So we're just kind of sitting back, waiting to see where traders go. Watching the high day momentum scanner, watching the halt and resume. But right here, right now, I want to watch MTC for the possible mid-candle breakout. Right? MTC for the possible mid-candle breakout at the start of the day, guys. Be a great little small account trade. Would be a great small account opportunity, guys. Where are traders going? That's it. Where are traders going? Where do you think they want to go? So you guys are all set. I took that in consideration. You guys are all set. You can see the symbols. You can see the price. You can see the float. And you could see the volume. You guys are set. You could see exactly what stocks are on the penny stock gainer list. You can see the price clearly, the float, and the volume. I put a lot of consideration into this. I made some adjustments, so we are all set, ready to rock and roll. I have reasons as to why I'm on this side, but you guys can see exactly what you need to see there, guys, okay? So scanners, anything hitting the scanner list that was on our watch list. All we're waiting for, anything hitting the scanner list that was on our watch list. Do we have anything with XCUR at this point in time? No. Maybe a red to green move, but again, it just opened and dropped on off. We have room to come down to like 225. NNVC, nothing there. GRNA, nothing there. MTC is where my focus is. MTC for the possible mid-candle breakout. You know, maybe a starting position, right? On a small account, 50 shares, right? My small account approach, my maximum loss is going to be $25 to $50 is my max loss, okay? Looking to see how high these supernovas go, but making sure that I pick the right stock at the same time. The last thing that I want to do is just jump into a random stock, blow my capital, and be out of trades. So I have to be very particular and very picky on what stocks I look to get in on. But coming into this small account trading with options and equities, my maximum loss per trade on an equities position would be right around that $50 threshold, looking for $100, $200, $300 plus on a potential supernova. Okay, options, a little bit different. We'll talk about that here later if we get an options opportunity. There's BABA off 100. It's worth watching BABA off that $100 level. They're on BABA. Amazon starting to break that level, guys. Amazon on high watch Amazon above 140.76, above 140.76. Again, Amazon room to 146. So definitely high watch there. Apple's coming on up above 166.59. Apple has great potential. Okay, Tesla, we're starting to break that level as well. 935.92. We know where Tesla has potential to go to. I think traders are looking to push this to $1,000. So that's called slippage, Steve. You put in a stop sell. Isn't it supposed to sell at the price? Because mine yesterday was 83 cents and it sold at 0.826. That's called slippage, right? There's going to be some slippage with your orders depending on the liquidity of a stock. So APDN, right now, it's not really doing all that much. We're waiting for one stock to break out. That's it. We're just waiting for a stock to break out, guys. So just sit back and wait for a stock to break out. Once a stock breaks out, you know, that's where traders go. Stock breaks out, traders jump on in, stock rips to moon. All right? So just sit back and wait for the first breakout. And then that's where the traders are at. That's where the best opportunity is. And that's the next potential supernova stock that has great opportunity to the upside. But right now, trying to grab a stock before it really breaks out, I mean, these things could fade and fall. They don't have to do anything today, right? Wait for the first stock to break. Tesla is right at that level, team. Tesla is right at that 936, and it's retesting. If you like some Tesla right now could be at that level that you want to be paying attention to. Apple, not yet. Amazon coming back down for another retest. Amazon must stay above. Must stay above 140.76 for this to look fantastic. Okay. BABA has room down to 98. I'd say like right around 98. BABA has room to 98. Here goes VRAR, guys. Right now, VRAR starting to break over yesterday's high and getting some action. Support 589, VRAR. Support off yesterday's high, 589. We have room to the 200 SMA at 748. VRAR starting to hit our breakout scanner at this point in time. Want to see a stock really get that big time volume and take on off. SOPA needs to break $3 before there's any potential. All right, so SOPA needs to break over $3 before we really see this thing take on off, possibly towards around 380 here on SOPA. Got SOPA we're watching, APDN, everything else that we've discussed. Just waiting for a stock to break. That's it. Just waiting for a stock to actually start to break out. Once it starts breaking out, we know that's the stock that has the best potential. That's the stock that could start squeezing to the upside. So you got to wait for that first stock to break out. The last thing I want you guys doing is just jumping in and watching the stock fade and fall, tying up your capital when, say, STAF is the stock that's just ripping on up. Right? So sit back, be patient here. Wait for that one breakout. So STAF starting to get a little action towards it. Worth watching here. It's starting to break that downtrend. STAF starting to rip and run here a little bit. Not really rip and run, but starting to get a little bit of activity towards it. Really wouldn't really call that a rip and run, but it's definitely starting to see some volume move on in. Definitely starting to see some activity with STAF. Where could we see this go? I believe we could see 536. So 536 is some really key daily support here. So I think 536 is a good little target, especially if we can start breaking 443. So right now, you got STAF trying to make a little move on up. Nothing else really spiking on up yet. UNRX is fading. ENVB is fading. MTC, nothing yet. GRNA, nothing here. NNVC, nothing there. XUR, not really a whole lot there. NVIV, nothing. Tesla failed the break and retest. Apple struggling at that 166. BABA has room down to 98.15. Amazon failed the break and retest. The Qs struggling in the SPY. So there's nothing right now, guys. There's a big goose egg. There's a big goose egg in the market. There is nothing right now that stands out. So just sit back on those hands. You want to see me sit back on my hands? All right, let me sit back on my hands real quick. All right. I can't do that. That hurt. All right, we're good. Gotta sit on the floor. Sit back on my hands. That's the floor. NVIV starting to curl on up here a little bit. This was that newer reverse stock split on NVIV. It's starting to kind of curl on up here just a tad bit at this point in time. All right, so you got NVIV starting to curl on up here just a smidge. Right now, just kind of watching NVIV here. Looking to see what stock's going to get that pop, what stock's going to get that hype, what stock's going to rip on off, and that's the best opportunity for the day, most likely. Johnny. Oh, he's getting close. Johnny's testing me over here. I got the ban button out ready to go. No, Johnny, I'm just joking. I'm just joking with you, boss. All right, so we got our first halt on the day. Fantastic first halt in VIV. So, all right, let's see what NVIV is going to do out of the halt. Halt level, 806. All right, the halt level is $8.06. All right. A gap up above 806, come back down to 806, hit that level of support, squeeze off that level. Got a potential little halt strategy coming on up. Got NVIV, currently halted to the upside. It was halted at 941.23. We will be live at 946.23 here on NVIV. Johnny goes, if we have no trades, might as well get a laugh or two. I wouldn't ban you, Johnny. I wouldn't ban you. I'm just messing with you, too. It's kind of still scanning. STAF's breaking the downtrend. SOPA rejected off 3. APDN, not a lot. UNRX, nothing. ENVB, nothing. I still think we should watch MTC. I still think we should watch MTC. So if I were to take a trade here, it wouldn't be like 100 shares. I'd probably go like 50 shares. The stop below 378. Give it some breathing room, right? Give it maybe like 60 to 70 cents of breathing room. Can I get $2-3 out of it? Yeah, it has room all the way back up to 787, and then 10 if it's a proper mid-candle breakout on this really low float stock for that potential mid-candle breakout. So it may be worth like just throwing 25 to 50 shares at it on a small account, keep those stops nice and tight around $30, and look to see what MTC does throughout the day. One of those set it and forget it's. It has the potential. It's a nice mid-candle breakout. Maybe I start a scale in here at 25 shares and I add over 510. Again, I'm considering because I like these mid-candle breakouts. And MTC has so much potential to the upside. Next support level on APDN would be 382. So next support level I see is 354. 354 support here on APDN. All right, so I'm seeing, no, 353. All right, 353 is pretty good support here on APDNH. We are starting to move on up with NNVC here at this point in time. So you got NNVC with a little bit of activity towards it. Still looking for that one big breakout. That's it. Just looking for that that one stock that's going to really break and show that strength. Grab the first pullback. We're ready to rock. That's it, guys. All right, I want to see a stock just break on out. Show strength. Like, yep, that's it. That's a freaking rip. And then we wait for the first little pullback and we make it happen. NVIV, I do want to watch this because we are halted. So we want to see maybe what? 15, 20 cent gap up? 15, 20 cent gap up here on NVIV. So maybe put you right around like 816 to 825. You want to see it open up at that price. Come right down to that 806 level. You got your entries for the halt strategy. Stops under 8. You want to see it squeeze instantaneously, and you can see the squeeze to 950. So again, you're going to risk maybe 10 to 15 cents by putting a stop below $8. You want to see the halt strategy play out to the penny. Hoorah! Up to 950, then $10 potentially here over on NVIV. So let's keep this on watch for the halt strategy coming on up. We will be live at 9:46:23. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to be live. Let's get our gap up. Let's get our halt strategy. Stops under 8. Nice big squeeze the 950 and then 10 is definitely possible. We are still halted at this point in time. 9:46:23 should have been the live time. Keep it on watch another 20 seconds. It should have gone live at that 5-minute mark. It is still halted at this point in time. Could be a 10-minute halt. Could be a 10-minute halt here on NVIV. All right, so we're still halted here on NVIV, guys. We are still halted at this point in time. The NNVC starting to get a little bit of action towards it. Looking for that one nice big spike. Not really seeing anything that stands out. Again, in this market, your best asset, the best asset you have, I don't even call it an asset. I don't know why I said asset. But the best thing that you can do is just be patient. Or just be patient, right? We know that when we see the first stock break out, it freaking rips. And it goes, and it goes, and it goes. And when we see that breakout, right, everything else follows. And then you get the next breakout. Slight pullback, continuation. Then the next stock breaks out. Slight pullback, continuation. Wait for the first stock to break out. Remember yesterday, it was kind of choppy up until 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock comes around, boom, lunchtime activity. Lunchtime was the best time of the day yesterday. If you were here in lunch, dude, stocks are up 200, 300, 400% over lunch. So we may not get the best movement here at the start of the day. It may start to happen towards lunch hours. Wait for the first big time rip. Watching NVIV, if we can come out of the halt. NNVC is now halted to the down. No, it's not halted to the downside, but it is cracking on down here a little bit. This is why I'm saying be patient. GRNA, nothing happening. Said QNRX is halted. All right, let's watch QNRX. So we got 2 halts right now at this point in time. All right, halt number 1, NVIV. This stock should be live now. What were we looking at? It was like 9:36. Yeah, it was like 9:36. So we're looking at 9:51. So NVIV currently halted. NNVC is starting to dump on off a little bit. QNRX currently halted. Let's keep that one on watch. We want to watch these stocks that are currently halted because if they gap up and squeeze, we have our next potential big time mover. So QNRX, probably gap up, you know, on a stock of this price, I would say like a 30 to 50 cent gap up. So that could put you at $20. You get that quick drop to the halt level of 1939. You hold it to the penny. You follow through, break 20, you squeeze into the second halt. Stops would be below 19 bucks on that trade. So if you're getting that gap up, you're pulling the trigger off the halt level at 1939 for the halt strategy. All right, put your stops below 19. Risk about 40 to 50 cents. You should probably give this about 40 to 50 cents of breathing room. You have potential to rip $2, $3, $4. to the upside. So it's definitely a decent little plan here on QNRX. But we know that NVIV should be live here in about 1 minute. We should be live here in about 1 minute on NVIV. Where does this stock have potential to go to? 870. 870. So if you're going to get in on the halt strategy right around 806, right? Stops below 8, take some profits around 870. NVIV should be live in the next 30 seconds, guys. Should be live in the next 30 seconds here. Johnny, 106 on NNVC with 2 trades. Boom! Doubled his daily goal. That's what I'm talking about, Johnny. Way to get it. Right now, we want to watch NVIV, guys. NVIV is going to go live here in a couple seconds. It's a 10-minute halt. We should be going live here relatively soon. Let's see if we can gap up. Halt strategy, 806. Stops below 8. First target, 870. Second target, 940. This is a long halt. Okay, we're live. And we're flat. We're live and flat. You want to see the gap ups. Let's see if we can squeeze here, though. There's a squeeze, 839. You guys took it. Congrats. Risky biscuit stuff there because it was a flat open out of the halt. You want to see gap ups. You just hit your first target. If you took that trade, I give you guys some props. Y'all have kahunas. All right, because it did not gap up. We opened flat, and those are a little iffy. But if you guys grabbed it, boom, you just hit 870. Stop should still be below. I would put your stop at like 775. I put a stop at like 775. If you break over 870, which is going to be tough, it's the 200-day moving average. If you break over that level, 940 and then $10 is your targets. And then our next stock that's about to go live is going to be QNRX. So same thing. Halt strategy. You want to see a little bit of a gap up, maybe 25 to 50 cents on a stock of this price. Come back down. There's a gap up above 20. There's your gap up above 20. I mean, it is above 20 bucks. That's a psychological level of support. We may not come down to 1946. It may just hold 20 bucks, as $20 is a good psychological support level. But I still like the halt. Boom, there's your halt strategy, guys. There's your halt strategy. There's your entry. You want to see the bid stay above 20. Stops at this point in time, 1920. If you got your halt strategy entry here, stops right now at $19.20, guys. Okay? Trim a little bit, take some profits, be smart. This thing has so much potential to $25. We can see 25 bucks, guys. But definitely 1920 is where you're all out because that thing will dump. Okay, yeah, you want to be all out at 1920. You wanted to have a nice little stop in the system. Scale out, trim out, take some profits. These are quick trades. Halt strategies, they're scalps. If you hold a little bit, stops go underneath the halt level. Good job, Catherine. You still made some profits, though, Catherine. Good job. Good job on NVIV. Nice halt strategy. Very good. Very well done. Congratulations on that. We still haven't really seen that one stock take on off yet. I'm still waiting for that one stock to take on off, but we just had a pop in volume on MTC. So here's what we're going to do here on MTC. All right, we're going to go 25 shares. All right, small account trade, nice tight stops. Going to put stops down around $4. Not really risk a lot. Okay, not really risk a lot. Maybe like $10, $15, $20 of risk. Looking to hold this thing throughout the day to see if we get that mid-candle breakout. This is a set it, forget it. Small size because it's definitely not confirming yet. But we know how mid-candle breakouts work. We know how MTC moved here on Tuesday. We just saw a quick little spike in volume. If we start to see MTC breaking above that 460 level, that's when this thing could really start to get that pop to 510. I want an early entry on the mid-candle breakout, but I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm not going to tie up a lot of capital. I'm going to keep it relatively small. I'll throw like $100 at this and see what happens today off this potential mid-candle breakout. So I may take a small, again, 25 shares, and then just go throw a hard stop in the system and set it and forget it. Again, we're going to risk like $10. Like $10, right? Not a lot at all. And we have potential to get back up to like $7.87, so we can make $50, $60, $70. That's a good little small account position. Let's see if MTC can start to get a little bit of a spike here. Yep, we're starting to spike. I'm going to go ahead and take 25 shares. I'm going to go here. Hard stop. Let's go ahead and sell custom with a stop. Why did that just happen? That was odd. I literally right-clicked to sell custom with the stop. That's okay. I don't know what happened there, but that took up a little bit of that capital, so I'm not going to trade that again. I don't know what happened. I literally went to go sell custom with a stop, and it sold me. Didn't even give me an opportunity to. Maybe it's because my auto send's on. I haven't traded on TD in a long time. Anyway, I made a mistake. I had my auto send on like a dummy, but I still right-clicked down here and sell custom with stop. That's weird. Again, I haven't traded with TD in a long time, so just a small mistake, small boo-boo on my part. But anyway, I had that position there, and I was willing to put a stop right below these lows and ride this thing for the mid-candle breakout, but I'm not going to waste any more capital on it. If it goes, it goes. At least I know I would be in the position, right? I'd be in the position, right? I would have 25 shares at 450. My stop was going to be no lower than $4. I was going to risk 50 cents on 25 shares. That's $12.50. And I was looking to hold this up into that 683 and 787 region for this potential mid-candle breakout. So there was potential to make, $75, $80, but to lose $12.50. So we'll see how that plays out. More of a mental trade now. I'm not sure why that happened, but it is what it is. Still need to get back used to trading on TOS.